What's up everybody, Steven C. Killer here. It's time for a new reaction video. But before that, 77% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now there are two reasons for this. You're either new or returning. With today's video, I hope you change that. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and join the Discord so you don't miss out on any live streams or new videos. With this being a brand new year, we have a brand new goal, by the way. Instead of 200K, we're going for 250,000 subscribers. Now let's get into this video. Welcome back to some more game theory. Now today, we got Among Us. Yeah. Even though me personally, I'm going to just say it right here, right now. If you guys aren't aware, I stream and or play this occasionally every weekend. Or almost every weekend with my buddies. A game called Goose You Stuck, which is a superior version of Among Us to me and my friends. It's more fun and more active, and also the updates are more frequent, and we support them. Anyways, Among Us is still a great game. Not gonna say it's not, and I'm still interested in seeing what this is all about. And plus, people have been asking me on my Discord, which, like I said, all the time, Discord is the best method for making me see what your guys' reactions are, because sometimes comments get drowned and or I don't see every single comment. I do check usually the first couple new videos throughout the week and see what videos have some comments that seem interesting or the titles of videos. But still, the best method is to grabbing the link and posting a reaction idea section on my Discord. And besides that, you guys can also check out my live streams so you don't miss anything out. Whenever I go live on YouTube, please, 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 I want to grow more on my channel with my YouTube streaming side, because I don't get that many viewers on my streams. With my channel almost nearing 200,000, it's honestly kind of pathetic. And I know there's a lot of you guys out there that can join and don't. So, prove me wrong. Help me out. Join the streams. I want to try to get my channel. I'm hoping to get my channel to have over 100 viewers as a regular kind of thing on my channel. I want by the end of the year where my streams are 100 viewers regularly. So if you guys can join, please, by all means. I know there's plenty of you motherfuckers out there that want to watch or hang out with me. That is the time to do it live. Alright, let's check out this Among Us and theory, which Red is sus. When is Red not sus?
And then his mouth opened up and he had these jaws. Next thing I know, a sharp tongue shot out of his mouth and stabbed him right through the eye.
Can you describe who you saw?
Well, he was short, 2 stubby legs, little oval-shaped visor, kind of round at the top. Had a cute backpack.
Yeah, sure, we all look like that. What I'm interested in is his color. What color was he?
Excuse me, what?
His color. What was his color?
I do not see the world that way, and I am more than a bit offended that you would ask me a superficial question.
Really, Matt Pack, you're going to make that kind of joke here? I had a feeling that was where this was going to go.
Like that.
This is literally a world where we're all identified by our color.
Well, some of us like to think that we should be judged on the merit of our actions and not the color of our suits. Maybe one day you'll understand that. Good day, sir.
We lost our key witness. Let him go, boys.
Damn it, Matt Pat!
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where the only sussy thing is not brutally murdering that subscribe button. Whoa, what are we doing here? An Among Us video? What is this, like 2020? Nope, no need to check the date on your watch page, loyal theorists. Today we're jumping back onto the skeld with a new video on everyone's
crazy to think how popular
game,
Among Us got during the
2020.
2020.
Honestly, it's because of the new Netflix movie Glass Onion. There's an Among Us joke in like the first 10 minutes.
Blanc, I saw you go in the engine room. You're the imposter. We all know it.
You're thrown out of the airlock. It's a no-brainer.
I don't understand this at all.
Nothing like a shirtless Daniel Craig in a bathtub to
What?
help rekindle interest in your franchise, am I right? And not only is Among Us front and center, but for all us high IQ gamers,
There's a show out there that actually fucking did that. I never heard of it and didn't know about it.
the short scene actually spoils a lot of the key plot points for the main mystery of the movie. To find out how exactly, we actually did a short on this over on Film Theory that you should go check out. Anyway, all that was enough to get me to pick up the game once again. And when I did, I was struck by one huge detail that we'd overlooked in our past theories on how to win the game. A detail that is perhaps
I don't think I've ever really watched many of his game theories on the Among Us stuff. I may have seen one or two, but I don't remember any of them, honestly. It's been such a long time since I really have done anything Among Us related.
Perhaps the highest IQ strategy of them all. The one crucial detail that makes a massive difference in any match that you're playing, even before the imposter is selected, your color. You see, every single emergency meeting, you always hear a single phrase uttered. The iconic meme, red is sus. It has its own Urban Dictionary page, it's got its own t-shirt. Heck, it's even got its own 38 million view song from the channel Shiloh and Bros.
Red is sus.
I haven't seen this in a while either. Holy crap, I did do some reaction to these fuckers.
In a game that's all about
Not the
avoiding
song,
detection
but
and not raising suspicion, hearing those words is practically a death sentence. So of course, it got my theorist cogs a-turnin'. Is red indeed sus? Well, obviously the actions of the player in the game are gonna have a massive impact on whether they're suspected or not. There are also a lot of subconscious variables at play in every match. Factors that affect the way that the game is gonna go even before the imposter is chosen. Appearances do matter, and that's gonna affect everything from job interviews in the real world to games of Among Us. And
well, in a sense, red has always been kind of the symbolish color of evil. Evil!
color is immediately one of the first traits that we see, which begs the question, is red actually the sussiest color in Among Us? What color is most likely to draw suspicion if you're the imposter? And best of all, what color choice is going to be the best at throwing off suspicion?
My color? Always going to be orange.
So your name isn't tossed around.
Let's find out if orange is... okay. Comment down below what color you were in Among Us, or what was your favorite color to choose from. And let's find out if you were sus, based off your color.
During the next emergency meeting. Strap in, theorists, because I'm about to blow this whole airlock wide open. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the phrase, never judge a book by its cover, right? There's just one problem with that. It is fundamentally opposed to our programming as human beings. We are designed to make snap judgments based on immediate appearances. It is essentially a leftover survival instinct. If something looks dangerous, it's best to avoid it for our own survival. And one of the first factors that we're gonna process is color. Color psychology is the study of how colors affect human mood and behavior. For instance, studies have shown that white
there's
pills
a
are
good
associated
bit of
with greater
snakes
pain
with
relief,
color
and
red
pills are associated with stronger stimulant properties. Other studies have shown that the color red can prompt people to react with greater speed and force. Something as simple as color can even affect your performance on a test. When college students were given one of 3 colored numbers, red, green, or black, and then asked to take a simple test, those with the red numbers scored more than 20% lower than those presented with either the green or black numbers. That is a huge difference, all from witnessing a different color prior to taking the test. On the complete other end of the spectrum, colors like blue have shown themselves to have a calming effect on people. Some studies have even shown that looking at the color blue literally release endorphins that help you physically calm down. All of these very real effects happening simply by looking at different colors. So, given that science has proven time and again that we have both physical and mental reactions to color, how can we use this knowledge to our advantage in a game like Among Us? Which color is most likely to trigger your crew member's suspicions? Well, believe it or not, but one of the most sus colors isn't red, it's actually yellow. And this is backed by both science and history. Let's just cover the science first, shall we? Our eyes use 2 different types of photoreceptors, rods and cones. The rods are for vision at low levels of light. Cones, meanwhile, are the ones that are dealing with color. In fact, there are actually 3 different types of cones, each one with sensitivity to a different color range. Because 2 of the 3 have reasonably high sensitivities in the green range, humans are able to process more shades of green than any other color. But not all greens are created equally. When you break down our biological sensitivity to light, our eyes work best at the light wavelength of 555 nanometers. That means that under normal lighting conditions, our eyes are most sensitive to a yellowish green color. In other words, during an emergency meeting, if you're either green or yellow, you're gonna be the one that your crewmates' eyes are naturally drawn towards. Making matters worse,
yay! Let's go! Orange is
yellow
safe.
has been associated with feelings of deceit.
Even though there's of course yellow and orange.
Let's just take a trip back to 500 AD, when post-classical art was beginning to take shape. During this time period, artists were working hard to recreate scenes from the Bible.
Oh my god, that's why Pilk is always thrown out.
There was just one problem with that. The Bible isn't very descriptive about what people were wearing. That meant that the artists had to make some creative choices. And one trend that stuck, they dressed Judas Iscariot, the disciple that betrayed Jesus and ultimately caused his crucifixion, in yellow. This appeared in so many works of art at the time that people just eventually began to associate the color yellow with traitors and liars. In 16th century Spain, for instance, they literally dressed those accused of heresy in yellow capes to show their betrayal to the Spanish Inquisition. And the color has lived in infamy ever since.
Banana!
You see? Don't you just want to yeet it out of an airlock? But then what about green? I just talked about how green is the color that pops the best for our eyes. Is that a sussy color too? No. At first glance, it certainly feels like green and guilt should go hand in hand. After all, it's the go-to color used by animation companies to show evil magic. Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, Rasputin in Anastasia, Ursula in Little Mermaid, and Bruno's fortune-telling in Encanto. It's a color that's constantly associated with treacherous villains, strange potions, toxicity.
Yeah,
that said, any
that's
negative
not wrong.
connotations
That's
of the
true,
color
yeah.
are far outweighed by its natural sense of calm.
Green is not a creative color.
Sure, it might not be, but it is a relaxing color. In a 2020 study, 39% of people said that green made them feel relaxed and content. Again, this is one of those primal instinct things. Our bodies want to be in nature. We are programmed to eat nice green plants because green means health and vibrancy. It means safety. As such, we're naturally inclined to trust green things more than most other colors. So, green is good and yellow is sus. What other colors should we be on the lookout for? Well, in 2020, some researchers from University College London asked over 400 people to pick a color from a color generation website that they associated with feelings of guilt. Number 2 came in as black, and number 1 was our good old buddy, red. Let's just start with black. You see, black is an interesting color. It's naturally paired with dark emotions like sadness, depression, and fear. It also feels dark and shadowy, as if you're trying to purposely hide something. That said, it might be hiding too well. A study of what car colors tend to get into the most accidents showed that the riskiest car to drive is a black car, because its darker colors make it blend in more with the surrounding area. So, in an emergency meeting, even though black is paired with more negative connotations, if you keep your mouth shut, you should be fine. That said, if someone does bring up your name, be careful and play humble. Black is actually considered to give impressions of high authority and dominance. Think about black belts in martial arts or the black diamonds on ski slopes. Both show a level of mastery and skill. You are one of the elite. It's why villains wear black. Same thing for judges. It puts them into positions of power and authority, which is why lawyers actually recommend that their clients do not wear black to court, because it doesn't give people the impression that you're innocent or willing to listen. Instead, it makes you look powerful, aggressive, and in those contexts, guilty. Something that you're also looking to avoid in an emergency meeting. Which now brings us back to where this whole question first started, red. How sus is red? Well, in addition to being highly associated with guilt like black and being a bright visible color like yellow, red has a few other things that are working against it. First, red is obviously the color of danger and warnings. Like I mentioned at the top of the episode, seeing red makes you perform worse on tests. Red can also cause heart rates to rise and blood pressures to increase. All of these things are going to be working against your ability to convince others that you're innocent. But what deals red another killing blow is the psychological phenomenon called the recency effect. If it wasn't obvious, the recency effect is about how humans remember the most recent information they're presented with best. A Harvard University study showed that approximately 4 pieces of information can be held in short-term memory at a given time. This is because most information in short-term memory only lasts between 15 and 30 seconds, meaning that people are going to tend to rely more heavily on the last few things they've seen when making a decision. How's that at all related to Among Us? Well, both the emergency meeting button and the animation it creates use the color red, which immediately gets people thinking about that color in a negative and suspicious light. Red is the color on the top of everyone's mind going into the meeting because it's the one that they literally just saw flash across the screen. But the final nail in Red's
and
coffin,
also
the
red is the
psychological
name
effect
color
priming.
of the...
Priming is when you expose the brain to something which then influences how you react to something else. Probably best explained through an example. If I show you these 3 words, noodle, bowl, stew, and then I ask you to complete this word, S blank blank P, what do you think you're gonna say? Science shows that your you're most likely to say the word soup over the other completely acceptable answer of soap. Because I've already activated a bunch of words in your brain around the idea of soup.
Wow, that actually worked on me.
Your brain has been primed to think about soup. If I had done the exact opposite and said bath bubble shampoo, now I'm able to switch your brain's priming and you would have been more likely to have thought
Yeah, I
soap
probably would have
first.
thought of soap,
It could also
yeah.
be something as simple as saying the phrase, I've always subscribed to the belief that soup is better than stew. By saying the word subscribe, I've actually primed you for that idea so that later in the video, when I ask you to subscribe, you're more likely to do it. Anyway, how does...
Hey, you there. You, yes, you, subscribe.
Does any of this apply to Among Us? Well, red is front and center in the game's artwork. He's the icon for the game on Twitter. He is the first color that people think of when they think of characters from this game. And not only is he the most prominent, he's also the most likely to be visualized as the imposter in all the marketing.
Yeah.
Take a look at their holiday merch page. The first thing you see is Red as the imposter with fangs and a long tongue. There are 2 t-shirts with Red having an imposter shadow or holding a knife. Heck, the official Among Us VR page on Steam has Red standing over a dead crewmate telling
Yeah,
us
they
to keep our
basically
mouths
did
shut.
that.
Everything is priming your brain to connect the idea of Red and imposter, so that when the time comes to suggest who to yeet out of the airlock, Red is always going to be the one that people pay attention to and throw under the bus. So if your goal when you become the imposter is to win, the best thing to do is start steering clear of red, black, and yellow. All of this being said, what color should you be picking if you don't want to immediately be called out? Well, there are 2 routes depending on your gaming style. If you're an experienced player who wants to be involved in the emergency meetings, choose blue. Not only does the color blue release relaxation endorphins into the brain, it's also the color that science repeatedly shows is the most closely associated with trustworthiness. There is, however, one more solution that can keep you out of trouble, and that's by staying out of the minds of your fellow players. In 2021, the game updated to add 6 more colors to the roster: maroon, rose, coral, gray, tan, and banana. No, stop it. Now, based on everything we've talked about today, any of these could be a winning choice. Why? Because their strength is the exact opposite of Red's weakness. While Red is the poster
They don't
child
stand
for
out
all
as
things
much.
Among Us, none of these new colors have really seen the light of day, and they're played significantly less than any of the primary colors. In 2021, Inner Sloth released their statistics around the most and least played colors. Red, black, white, and rose were the top 4, while gray, maroon, brown, and tan
Orange
were
was
rounded
10?
at the bottom. Banana and coral, meanwhile, were mixed into the lower middle. In short, all that means is that these new colors
Damn.
aren't primed for anything. And because they're not bright primary
Orange
colors,
is,
they don't
before
come
they
with
added those
strong,
new 6,
prepackaged
orange was the
emotional
least played color.
connotations. Pastels
I
are
call
just softer
bullshit on
colors,
that.
and as such, they evoke softer emotions. They're light and delicate. They're the supports rather
Orange is
than
my
the
favorite
leads.
color.
In meetings, you want people to focus on the big, loud orange guy in the corner, not the
Hey!
little cream-colored you staying quietly off to the side. Tan, for instance,
Fuck
being
you.
a lighter version of brown, gives a sense of dependability and stability, and in design is used more as a background color. It's unassuming, which is perfect when you don't want people to start thinking about what you've been doing in the game. Meanwhile, gray is your other best choice. It's also a pale color, but unlike banana and tan, it doesn't evoke feelings of anything, really. Gray is just the most blank of blank canvases. Also, have you taken a look at the maps recently? They all lean heavily into the grays as a color choice, which makes a lot of sense. It's a lot of machinery, spaceships, space stations, all things made out of gray metals. Other characters will
Yeah.
notice a green character running past them, but gray, not so much. And this holds true in real life too. Gray cars are actually the second least likely to be noticed on the roads because they blend in with their surroundings. So there you have it. If you want to give yourself the best chance of not being called sus, your best choices are the newer, lighter colors like gray, tan, and banana. These are going to be doing the best job of keeping you out of the interrogation spotlight as long as you manage to keep your mouth shut. Blue, meanwhile, is a strong secondary choice, especially if you plan on being a more active player. But the biggest takeaway of all is that the memes are true. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Top dog of sussiness is in fact the king of the memes, Red. Not just because he's popular, but because people naturally associate Red with guilt, with warnings, and because Inner Sloth has been sabotaging Red every single game from the start with their marketing. It's not
Yeah.
just a meme, it's science and psychology. But hey, well, it's certainly useful to know every possible strategy on how to kill off your crewmates one by one. Gotta admit, it's a little inefficient. Imagine what sort of strategies you could pull off if you had a whole army of imposters. Fortunately, thanks to today's sponsor,
Oh, okay, this is gonna go into a sponsored stuff. Alright, well that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button on the way out. Check out more videos on the channel. I recently did a huge kinda fan-made movie watch with some with a bunch of people, and I've been uploading them as individual videos. If you guys want to check out the Goku vs. Z fan movie, and also recently a Sprite battle movie that involves Sonic and friends entering the world of Mario, then please go check out that one as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Till next time, later!
This is the Prince of the motherfucking Saiyans, and I am ordering you to subscribe to Steven Z. Killer!